And we're back, guys. Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Good Energy. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. I want to take another look at this matchup here between Coco Gauff and Lois Boisson. Listen, guys. Actually, I meant to release this video last night. A little tired, though. I do a lot of work in the community, and that can be draining sometimes. So, listen. Outside of Lois and the championship that she won last year, and I want to say it was St. Malo. I haven't really heard of her, to be honest with you. She didn't have this junior career, that Coco or Iga or all the other ladies had on tour. She's really a late bloomer, and it's amazing to me because normally with tennis, late bloomers, I mean, you have the exceptions, Ben Shelton. There's a lot of people, that, I mean, even take a look at someone like AP, right? Alicia Parks. She didn't have a long junior career, but she had the mentors, the Rick Macy's. She had the Serena Williams, the Venus Williams, kind of in her ear, in her ear, excuse me. Her dad, Mr. Parks, great mentor, great coach. AP had the people around her to kind of propel her talents onto the main tour. Lois, she's a late bloomer, and this is very interesting to me because, again, I haven't heard of her. Outside of last year, I covered the match she won, the championship, the lower level title, challenger title, if you will, in St. Malo, where she did beat some household names. She beat Vivara. She beat Solana Sierra, who was a teen prospect of mine, junior slam champ. She beat Katie Valinets, Elise Cornet, Bonjour Comme Televue, and Chloe Paquet. So she has beat Anna Bondar. She has beat players that have had, somewhat success on the main tour. But when it comes to officially winning matches on the main tour, prior to this tournament, Lois only had one, and that was against Harriet Dart not too long ago. Remember when Harriet Dart, and I call her a firecracker, right? Because she got mad, and this was at, I think, Rouen, where Lois, she said, wasn't wearing any deodorant and that she smelled, right? And she didn't want to shake her hand and all this stuff. That was interesting, right? But Harriet Dart's a firecracker. She's very emotional, and I like that emotion. You need to show emotion when you're playing, but be respectful. But I felt she probably could have kept that to herself because, I mean, playing tennis, the only time you're going to be close to your opponent really is when the match is over or the start of the match. When you're walking for changeovers, I mean, that's a quick passing by. But I felt Dart could have kept that to herself, but that caused a controversy, right? That kind of put Lois on the map. And again, I never heard of her outside of that match, but she plays a lot of clay tournaments. She had a knee injury. She came back, and clay is her specialty. But she has losses against players that let you know she's human, right? She's just catching form, like Emma Raducanu a few years ago. She's getting hot, but she has losses to Leola Janjan, Yuchishima. So she doesn't win every tournament. She actually had a loss in Switzerland to Ambrosio, who's ranked 316th. She lost to Lorenzo Garcia in Spain. She's ranked 221st. Here's the thing about Lois. She wins the majority of her matches on clay, right around 70%. But of the 140 matches she has, 104 of them, wins rather, have come on the clay surface. She is a clay specialist. I want to take a look at this tournament where, look, her career earnings coming into this tournament, approximately 140,000. She's already over this 700,000 mark in career earnings from this tournament alone. This is why the slams will change your career. You get hot during the week of the slam, will change your career. She's here as a wild card. Look, her coaches, her expenses, she's set. She can now transition into a stable career, hopefully, right? And if we take a look at what she's done here, she's on a roll, ladies and gentlemen, right? She's taking out some tough competitors. She's only had one main tour win prior to this tournament, and that was against Harriet Dart. She now has 5 more added to that, right? She never had a top 10 win prior to this tournament. She now has 2, Pegula and Mira Andreeva. But she's on a roll, guys. She's on a 10-match win streak. She's hot. The match against Elise Mertens, that was a match that I felt Elise had played a lot of tennis. She also plays doubles. I felt she was slowing down. I felt that Luis could have won that match, and she did. The match against Ann Helena, I told you she would beat Ann Helena as a 3-1 underdog. Again, I felt Ann Helena just wasn't, she's not in her 100% best form. And I saw that. I noticed that. I saw the numerology. I knew Ann Helena would lose that match. The match against Elsa is where it got interesting for me, because not only was she injured, she kept calling for the physio. She kept using the service clock. She was visibly tired, but Lois has this look. She has this stare like she can't, like it's surreal. Like she can't believe what's going on. So she's like in a state of shock, right? And it's amazing to see, to be honest with you. Emma Raducanu a few years ago. It's amazing to see these players on this stage. And the match against Elsa, I felt she probably should have lost, right? So Elsa had broke back, tied it up at 5. Elsa was serving, and this is where it got interesting. Started to just rain a little bit, and Lois called the chair umpire to come down and check the line. Now, Elsa, previous to that call for the chair umpire, wide serve and volley, boom, she found her rhythm. You could tell when you're watching a server find that rhythm, they're about to get busy on that service game. So I felt Elsa was gonna hold there, but the interruption of about 5 minutes completely took away her momentum. Next thing you know, Lois breaks Elsa, serves out the match. I felt she did that on purpose to break her momentum. And she had been taking her time on the service clock, especially on the second serve. She was tired. She had started to fault a lot. I think Elsa should have won that match, but and watched the video. I said, I think Lois, she's complaining a little too much, and I don't know how healthy she is. The match against Pegula. Now that match, I stated, Lois has good footwork. If she moves the way she can and should, Jess is too stationary sometimes, and I love Jess. I really, really do. But she's too stationary sometimes, and a mover like Lois on clay, who only plays clay for the most part, she's a clay specialist, if you will. Despite her ranking, she's pretty savvy around the clay court. She can find her ways around on the clay court. And I think she can beat Jess. There's going to be passing shots. There's going to be opportunities for short balls. And if she moves her feet and makes Jess move, she can beat her. Sure enough, she did that. Now, the match against Mira, again, this gets interesting, because Mira probably should have won this match. Mira was up in the first and second set. She had breaks, but couldn't hold on. I felt Mira let the crowd get to her. She let her inexperience show. And Lois just simply played her game, right? She played her game. She took advantage of the crowd. And if you guys have never played in an environment where the crowd is backing you, it's momentum. It's that extra fuel to do well, to get back in the rally. It's that extra momentum to show what you're capable of. It's that extra fire and passion to play harder. And that's exactly what happened. As Mira was crumbling, Lois was just gaining momentum. That's what home field advantage, home court advantage is, right? It's momentum to make you play your best with extra confidence you may not have if you're playing on the road. Now, I do feel Lois should have lost that match. I told you I think Lois take her to win a set. She was an 8-1, 9-1 underdog. I said I think she'll win outright, because the thing with Mira is a lot of her winners come down the line. She's got amazing drop shots. She's got amazing constructing of the point, but a lot of her points are away from you. She's going to go away from you. The thing with Lois is, I knew as a tennis, she's a tennis expert. Let's just be honest. She's a clay expert. Let's be honest. I knew if she makes Mira play, she's going to frustrate Mira. And that's exactly what she did. Factor in the crowd. That's what happens. The match against Coco. Listen, guys, if Coco Gauff is up like that, I don't think she's going to blow a lead like that. I think for Coco to win this match, Coco's going to have to take advantage of the weakness that Elsa is showing. Elsa is matching Coco's serve speed. She's matching her forehand speed. But the only thing she cannot match is Coco's footwork and her backhand speed. Elsa cannot match the backhand speed of Coco. It's the best. Coco's got two things that are amongst the best on the tour, if not the best on the tour. That's her footwork and that's her backhand speed. This is the area for Coco to focus on to win this match. It's her backhand. And I know a lot of you thought that Corey does her game plans, but it's JC. JC is the one, and Mr. Daly, of course. They plan and they watch the footage. And this is the problem with these upcomers that no one knows. There's no footage on them, right? It's like so for example, there's no photos on them, so you really have to watch the recent stuff. But again, these are situations where they're possibly adjusting to what's in front of them, and it's not necessarily the full picture of their game. So it's very tough to game plan against these new upcomers. That's why I say it all the time. The most dangerous people in slams are people that get hot at the right time and they go deep. In every slam, we see a one-hit wonder. But listen, guys, the reason Lois is matching Coco's serve speed is because Coco toned down her serve speed. Coco's serves were consistently in the 120 miles per hour. Now, and again, even before Brad Gilbert, but Brad Gilbert definitely enforced this and he put an emphasis on this. Coco has the fastest serve at a lot of these 1000s and 500s she played in. People don't realize that, right? Even at the slams, may not have the all-time record, but for that year, Coco has the fastest serve on record for a lot of these slams the last couple years. The reason why Lois is she's serving at 107 miles per hour. Coco's at 106. The reason why this is the case is because Coco's toned down her serve. She's focusing on placement. The harder and stronger and bigger you serve, the more tougher it is to control the ball. This is the problem with this matchup, and this is what I think Coco needs to do. Coco needs to bring back that 120, 125, 127 mile per hour serve. She's got to back Lois up. The difference between the lower level and the main tour, it's power, it's serve speed. If you can serve well on the lower level, you can make it and climb up the ranks on the main tour quickly. That's why we saw Alicia Parks skip juniors for the most part, right? She played briefly, but she had the power to move up. Coco's got to come out with the power that separates her from Lois. She already has the footwork and the backhand, but it's got to start on the serve. I think if you take a look at Coco's double faults, look, she's making the double faults anyway. For this match, if I were coaching Coco, I say you have to have a stronger, faster serve. Just keep your head up. Focus on that ball toss. Make sure it's high. Extend your arms. Get enough lift and get that ball over the net. But we need 120, 125 mile an hour serves. We have to put Lois on the back foot right away so Coco can step up and hit the backhand. I wouldn't want Coco to engage in these long rallies from someone that clearly has been doing this all tournament and she's been having success at it. However, if you speed up Lois, that's also going to make her tired. See, Lois also catches her breath by engaging in these long rallies because she's redirecting with slices so she can buy time each shot. Keep that pressure on her, play fast, and just in a boxing analogy, you have to just put it on her, right? You have to put it on her and just go really, really hard. Coco had 10 double faults against Madison Keys. Look, if you're going to make the double faults, you might as well go bigger on the serve and back her up. But she did win 75% of her first serves. The one thing that concerns me with Lois is having these horrible second serve performances. Not only is she giving her opponent second serves, but she's barely winning 50% of them. Last time out against Maria Andreeva, she served horribly on the second serve. And I think that's going to be an opportunity for Coco again to step up, get her on the back foot, and just not come in here to play around. Coco's got to take care of business. In terms of the crowd, I talked about the crowd earlier. Look, I don't see the crowd like booing Coco, But on that second serve where Lois is 13 for 27 against Mira, that can't happen. Now, I will say for Coco, if I'm coaching Coco, she can't do anything to let the crowd get pumped up and amped. She can't make any mistakes or show any frustration to where the crowd can feed off of that energy. She's got to stay emotionless. She's got to just keep her poker face on and do what Lois is doing. She has this nonchalant attitude like she's not even there. It's like she can't believe this is happening, and it's beautiful to see. But Coco's got to show her experience. She's been here before. She's made at least 5 quarterfinals here in France. This is her 3rd semifinal. She's the reigning doubles champion, right? Still, right? Because doubles hasn't crowned a new winner yet. And she's a finalist here against Iga Swiatek. She's been on the big stage. She's played in the big tournaments. She's constantly being swamped by large crowds. She has the experience here, and I think she's going to have to show it in this match. Like I said, I do think Coco's going to win the French Open. I think Iga has a good chance to beat Sabalenka. You can't ignore that they've played 6 times on clay and Iga's won 5 out of the 6. Iga's Swiatek, she knows her way around a clay court or two. And Sabalenka expressed, even with her coach, they did interviews this week, just saying Sabalenka still doesn't feel that comfortable on clay. She's just so strong and powerful. She's able to overpower opponents. But Sabalenka's game is not really designed for clay. She doesn't really construct the point. She just overpowers you with long, deep balls that opponents really can't return. I felt Kinwin had an opportunity to do something. She really choked and blew it. Iga's still on another level than Kinwin. And I think the fact that Kinwin had the opportunity to serve out the first set was consistent for most of the second set. There are signs that, look, there still are holes in Sabalenka's game. She's not perfect, possibly one of the queen of hard court, but definitely not clay. Iga, for the most part, is still the queen of clay, with Coco approaching, because let's be honest, those are your 2 best clay players. Jasmine Paolini's in that mix too, but she's out of this tournament. So right now, the 2 best clay players remaining, clearly Coco and Iga. So I like Iga to get past Sabalenka, and I like Coco to get past Lois. Listen, there's a lot of people backing Lois. Can she do this for the 3rd time in a row? It's very tough, guys. Take out Pegula, Mira, and now Coco with these huge dogs. 8-1 against Pegula, 9-1 against Mira. She opened at 6-1 against Coco. Now it's 4-1. So people are backing Lois to win this match. But listen, guys, there's levels to this. Coco's been here. She's more experienced. Coco's got to set the tone. Coco's got to come in and say, look, you're great. You're having a great run. But the only Cinderella slipper here is going to be from New Balance. Coco Gauff has to show there's levels to this. Coco has to show her experience. Coco, and yes, Lois is older. Lois has power. She's strong, and I can tell from her physique she's got a good fit personal development plan. She's got a good physical trainer. She has the resources, and it's amazing because she hasn't won a lot of money. To come in here with these type of resources is really, really good. She's a wild card. She had a knee injury last year, and she's back. But Coco's got to put the hammer down. She's got to let her know, look, you're not on my level. And I think Coco's going to come out. I think Coco's going to have a huge first set. And I see Coco can possibly winning the first set 6-3 or 6-2, and then from there she's got to close this match out. But I like Coco Gauff to win this match. Lois is plus 2200 to win the French Open. I've seen this happen before, but the reality is those odds is just not going to happen. Plus 2200, it's just not going to happen. So but again, I have seen it happen, so I don't want to discredit it and say it's not possible. It is possible, but it's highly unlikely possible. Coco Gauff's going to win this match. She's going to get into the French Open final, and I think the passing of the torch is going to start with her defeating Iga. I do think she can beat Iga or Sabalenka. It doesn't matter which one she faces, but I think the better matchup right now would probably be against Iga. I think Iga's game right now more aligns with what Coco wants to do. Sabalenka, you just never know what you're going to get every point. It's like sometimes you just have to close your eyes and just get the return back in, and then just try and hope she misses. Whereas Iga Swiatek, now you can see, and just her game plan, Coco Gauff, last time she faced Iga, she won the majority of the rally 7 shots or more. And the reality here is that's a game plan that you can employ against Iga. Just get balls back, you're going to win the rally. Sabalenka's a little different. You know what I mean? So I think Coco's best chances to win the French Open, which I think she will come against Iga Swiatek. So I like Coco to win this match, guys. Just some thoughts and tips. And like the video, show some love. We'll see you guys for the match. Enjoy it.